It's all right.
Hello and welcome to the RJ Squared podcast, where we invite you to join the conversation. I am Jamal and I'm here with Jermaine and Renell, and we are your unfiltered crew, diving into life, culture, manhood, and so much more. We stream here live every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern for now on YouTube and Instagram. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and join the conversation to help grow the channel and build the community. So let's get into it. Tonight's episode, as you can see from our thumbnail, talking animation tonight. Here we go. What's up, fellas? What's been good since we last? Whoa, what happened to you? What was that?
Little ninja, where are you coming from? he's trying to be a samurai.
he binged Blue-Eyed and got inspired.
Yeah, he did.
No, I was asking the same question I always ask. Let's get caught up before we dive into the topic tonight. But Jermaine, why don't you let us in on what you've been up to since we last had our episode?
Today is Thursday. Our last podcast was on Sunday. Great showing from the young lady, Marseille, the realtor. Great guest. Thank you, Raynell, for bringing her on. Kudos to her if she's watching or if she will watch this in the future. Thank you again, darling. Kudos to you. Much success. Praying for your well-being and all that good stuff. As far as me, life goes on. Woke up this morning, did what I did. I'm here. Happy to be with you guys tonight. Let's do it, man.
Please.
Awesome. And Renell has his puppy in the background.
Yes, she's
Everything
a good
good?
girl. Khaleesi,
Yeah?
she's a good girl.
Khaleesi.
The mother of dragons.
Mother of dragons. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, buddy, Jamal a few weeks ago kind of inspired me to start working out again. It's been like 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, and I've been consistent. Like the past 10 days, I have been consistent every day, getting a little bit of a workout in. I got my weight vest on when I take her for walks.
Nice.
Got back on my bike today. Calisthenics. Got some free weights here. Got some kettlebells, and yeah, doing the home routine slowly but surely. So it's good. And I have to tell you, we all know this. You just feel better every day. Mood completely changed. Just the sun is shining every day for me, even when it's not. I will say also that I am traveling to Colombia in June, and I wanted to share something with you guys.
I thought it was August.
August as well. I'm a frequent flyer.
Where you going June, coming back, then going back in August?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
Go ahead. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah. I'm laying the groundwork for you, greasing the skids, brother.
I'll take it.
All right. So what I wanted to share with you guys is what I call.
Oh, that's a thumb. I didn't know what.
I didn't know. Yo, I didn't know what was happening. I was like, what are we watching? Okay, go ahead.
So it was not this last time I went to Colombia. The time before that, I was in Bogota visiting a friend. And while I was there, I went to this one facial spa, and they had what they call it a Russian massage, but it's actually called here in the States a Buccal massage, Buccal, Buccal massage. And I have to tell you,
I believe it's pronounced buckle, but
buckle. Okay,
yeah, buckle.
Buccal massage.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely phenomenal. It was the first time I had ever done it. She kind of convinced me, the girl at the desk, to do it. It hurt so good, is what I can say. I mean, they literally go into your mouth, massage all of the jaw muscles in your mouth, and a lot of us carry our stress in our shoulders, but I carry my stress also in my jaw.
Me too. I grind my teeth.
I'm a
Yeah.
clincher, so I wear a mouth guard as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, this massage was just phenomenal. Releases all that, gets the circulation going. So if you haven't had it done, would highly recommend it. Like I said, I'm going back to Bogota in June, and gonna definitely go back to this place and get that done. So yeah,
Wow.
that's my show and tell for today.
Was it
That's
a
awesome.
woman that did it?
Yes, phenomenal. Mhm.
If it was a man, would you have been this enthusiastic about it? Honestly. Or would you have even let it happen? Like, hang on, dude, you about to put your thumb in my mouth? Like, hey.
At any of those services, I always prefer a woman because there's something about the female touch that I just prefer, right? That's not to say that I don't like my massages deep, right? I do. I love, so I tell them at times, hey, you need to give it to me hard. Like, get your elbows in there and dig, right? And so
You like them to give it to you hard, huh?
yeah, you're taking it out of
But
context.
there's a difference between woman hard and man hard. Let's be
There
Exactly.
is.
Like
There is.
if I ask Jermaine, hey, put your elbows in my back, like Jermaine's gonna kill me, right? So no, that's not gonna happen. So when you have a 120-pound, 5'4" woman doing that for you, it feels amazing. Conversely, here in the buckle massage, it's the same thing. You have these slim, thin fingers that are in there that have stamina and really massage those muscles for you that really don't get any love at all. Well, for me,
Okay.
48 years of non-love until last year.
Well, I'll say this. I'm a massage connoisseur. I've had massages as long as I could afford to have one. And when I first started getting them, it was with a male therapist, simply because they have more upper body strength and could do deep tissue justice.
Yep.
I had a massage once in LA. It was with an Asian woman, and she literally had to climb on my back and like put the weight of her body behind her hands
Yeah.
for me to really feel it. And that seemed like a lot. But now I don't even do deep tissue anymore. I just go for what do they call it now? They call it Swedish,
Yeah.
just for relaxing. So I used to do deep tissue, now I just do Swedish. But I've never had a buckle massage, but if I did, as long as you wear gloves, I don't think it would matter to me if you were male
Yeah,
or female.
they wear gloves. Yeah.
Yeah, if they wear gloves, I'm not. Yeah, I'm closing my eyes no matter what.
Yeah.
So I don't. It doesn't seem sexual to me. It just seems
No, it's
like I was just.
it's a stress reliever.
Yeah,
essentially. Mhm.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I'm just a perv.
You are. Yeah, that
Probably.
we've established
Yeah,
that. Yeah, that's
probably.
been established after 8 episodes. Yeah, pretty much.
So, but that was a great show and tell, Renell. That's great. I had never heard of those before, so that's cool. I'm gonna. Do you think they do that here? I've never heard
Yeah,
of
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah?
As a matter of fact, it was on. I had a video, but we had technical difficulty.
Oh,
But
yeah, I couldn't
it
play
was in. It was CBS in the morning.
Oh, okay.
El Paso, Texas. So if El Paso, Texas has it,
That's
I'm
true, yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. They got it in Texas. They got you okay. Well, I'll have to look into that. All right,
Mhm.
cool. Well,
Mhm.
like I mentioned briefly before we started the stream, I bought a washer and dryer, and we were just talking about how things just don't last like they used to. Like I remember growing up, washer and dryer or refrigerator was the last thing you ever thought about having to replace. I've been in this house 8 years, bought everything brand new when it was first built and we moved in. My refrigerator died, my HVAC died, my dishwasher's on its way out, and now my washer and dryer. Crazy.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, exactly. So
What's the approximate cost for a brand new washer and dryer nowadays? Just the approximate cost.
So I don't mind. I mean, I got this on Costco. It's front load, but see, I gotta go bougie. Don't
Wait,
add
front
me in the
load
comments.
meaning the door is in the front instead of the top?
Correct.
Okay.
So this one has Wi-Fi. It's sitting on a storage pedestal because I like having that storage underneath for the bleach and the detergent and everything. So all in. So Costco's great because, and this isn't an advertisement for Costco. I just really like Costco. So for $2,200, that includes the washer, the dryer, each pedestal for each appliance, haul away for my existing washer and dryer, installation for the new washer and dryer, and it comes with 2 years extended coverage in case anything breaks.
$2,200 for both and all that.
Correct.
That's a good deal.
That's a very
think-
good deal.
yeah.
No, it's a very good deal. Yeah. So, hey, thank you for that. So, big ups to Costco for that. And then, like I said, what's it been? It's probably been like 3-4 weeks now since I bought my HVAC. That was $10K. I'm just,
Gee.
no,
Do you have a tankless water heater? Did we talk about that? Do you have a tankless
no,
water
but
heater? You have
that's on my to-do list, but I feel broke because I keep buying stuff.
I had to replace. Well, I didn't. I got ahead of it because it's already 15 years old. I had
Yeah.
one of those huge old school
Yeah,
tank water heaters, and I got a tankless. I'm telling you, it was the
That's the
best
way to go?
investment. Yes.
I need a minute.
Wow.
Maybe.
Electric tankless and
My water
I
heater's
mean,
working.
little
It's not
pricey.
LG. That's why it's working probably. But
Crazy you
8,000
guys
bucks,
talk
though.
about this because the other day, one of my light bulbs went out, and I called the maintenance guy in my apartment complex, and he gave me a package of 10.
Nice. Yeah.
For-
See,
No money spent.
well, that's the beauty of renting, though, right? That's the beauty of renting, and why a lot of millionaires out there don't own homes.
what?
No,
Yes, believe it or not.
Oh, that's
Yes.
that's actually a
Numbers.
true. That's actually a true
Yes,
statement.
believe it or not.
Most millionaires do not have their own residential property that they reside at because with the businesses that they operate, they travel so much. Now they do have properties, but most of them are real estate and they're more of renting out and Airbnb, things of that nature. But yes, most millionaires do not have a specific property that they reside in for a long duration of time. That is true.
Okay. Okay. We'll have to unpack that on another episode.
Yeah,
because
that's a whole episode.
Not saying I'm a millionaire, people.
Compare, contrast.
Don't find where I'm at.
Yeah. It's just, there are pros and cons.
Yeah.
I think right now with the and we're going to talk about Invincible and Blue-Eyed Samurai. I promise you, people. But now Jermaine got me started because like I feel like this climate right now, it's in a is this a buyer's or sell? It's a seller's market, right? Would you say because there's not a lot of inventory? So I think that's why. But if it were a buyer's market and we were flooded with homes, I think it'd be a different conversation. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because right now I was just watching this the other day. CNBC was like, we are short 4 million houses. 4 million. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, and so that's why my property value has gone up, not because it's worth $1 million, but there aren't a lot of options, but then if I sell it, where am I going to go? So it doesn't really matter.
Columbia.
True. We'll say Columbia.
And on that note, let's get into the animated.
He liked that, people. You see that? He
Man.
liked that idea.
I can't go. I got kids. Anyway, so we're here to talk about 2 animated series that we've all seen, correct? We've all
Yes, sir.
seen Invincible, based on the I almost said graphic novel. It's a comic.
Yeah, graphic novel comic. Yeah.
Okay. And Blue-Eyed Samurai, which I don't believe is based on any existing IP. That is original. And it originally aired on Netflix, I think back in early 2024. Invincible is on its 3rd season. We should know this if we're talking
Now
about
going to the 4th, I believe. So
Okay.
the next season will be the 4th. They just finished the 3rd season in 2025, right?
There it is. Yes, that is correct. Yes. Which I personally feel brought it back to form, but we'll talk about that. And then Blue-Eyed Samurai only has 1 season. Jury's out on whether or not they'll be renewed, although I think they will renew it. I believe it got overwhelmingly positive reviews.
I'll be so let down if they don't. I'm not lying. I would be let down if they don't, bro.
Well, yeah. So there's a little bit to unpack too about some of the real true historical facts that drew inspiration to create Blue-Eyed Samurai, because there was a moratorium, if you will, in Japan against having Europeans visit or reside in the country. So that did in fact happen. But we'll talk more about that later. So anyway, let's just get an overall opinion of what everyone thought about Invincible. Let's talk about Invincible first. And Renell and I were talking about this. We could talk about each of these shows on its own at infinitum. But I really just want to delve on in each one a little bit. First, let's start with an overview of what you each felt. So, Renell, I'm going to start with you. Invincible, what'd you think?
So overall, I thought the show, it kind of hit me like Game of Thrones hit me, right? Complete shock when Omni-Man came in and destroyed the entire whatever Justice League, that whatever they were called, the entire team of superheroes that he was with initially.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was in the first few episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas Game of Thrones, like they waited till the end of the season to kill Ned Stark, right? But
Spoiler alert.
yeah, spoiler alert.
I know.
But it had that kind of impact where it was like, whoa, wait a second, what is going on here, right? They really had me fooled with Omni-Man being, the quote unquote protagonist and good guy in this series. So that definitely drew me in, right? Where I kind of like that when the producers or the creators of a story can kind of throw you off a little bit in and you don't definitely see what's coming. So I like that. Overall, I think Invincible is a good story. The one thing, and we kind of briefly touched on this pre-show, I do feel that they go a little overboard with the violence, right? It's just a little too much. But it is what it is, and that's just the way the comic was written, and they're following the comic. So that's what we get. But yeah, that's my quick 30-second summary of my outlook on it.
And what about Blue Eye?
Are we jumping into Blue Eye right now? Or
Yeah, we can. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're going with the flow. Yeah, sure.
Blue Eye, I like you, Jermaine. I really love Blue Eye. I like Invincible. It's a good story. It's don't hold this against me, parents out there. I share Invincible with my son. We watch it together. We enjoy it, and I let him watch it. It is what it is. He's 11 years old, but we enjoy it. With Blue Eye, I love the story. I love the fact, Jamal kind of alluded to the fact that, it's kind of set in some truth in historical facts, back in, I think in 1400s, 1500s, back in the samurai.
It was 17th century, so that's
17th
16.
century. Okay.
Yeah, so the 1600s. Yeah.
So 1600s. I love that. I also like the fact that they used a female as a protagonist, because I was thrown off initially. I never heard of it before. Does it derive from a comic book, or what?
No,
This is an original idea.
This
Is
is the
it?
original
Okay.
IP.
So
Yeah.
because I just clicked on it one night and said, let me check this out, right? Had no idea what it was. Did not do any research, just jumped right in. And it drew me in because the story was compelling from the beginning. It really didn't tell you that, and spoiler alert, the protagonist is actually a female, and she kicks butt throughout the show, throughout the series. And in the end, to your point, Jermaine, I really do feel that they to continue it. You will see season 2 because they set it up that way, right? She's on her way to London at this point, right?
Right.
And I can't remember why though. We'll get into that, I guess, later. But I do remember that she was on her way to London.
That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah. So if you're asking me to compare, contrast, and say which one I prefer Blue-Eyed Samurai, because there's, believe it or not, I prefer Blue-Eyed Samurai to Invincible, just because there is violence, but I think the violence is in context, whereas Invincible goes way too far. So,
Okay, awesome. Appreciate that, Renell. Jermaine, do you need me to go next, or are you ready?
However you want to do it. Want me to go?
I'm going to go.
Okay.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to, and I probably should have done this in the beginning. I'm going to go over the premise of each and kind of give a little
Okay.
background because we jumped into how Renell felt, which is great. But I'm going to take a step back and kind of go over the premise of each. So, Invincible series overview. First off, it's on Amazon Prime for those who have not seen it. But if you're into anime or comics or superheroes, I assume you would already know. But in case you're not, it is animated series. It's on its third season as of 2025. There will be a season 4. It's an Amazon Prime. It's considered adult animated superhero drama. It's by Robert Kirkman. You may know that name from The Walking Dead. And it's based on the Invincible comic series by Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Oatley. And the premise of Invincible follows Mark Grayson, a seemingly normal 17-year-old who discovers he's the son of Omni-Man, the most powerful superhero on Earth. As Mark gains his own powers, he adopts the name Invincible and sets out to follow in his father's footsteps. But what starts as a coming-of-age superhero story quickly spirals into something much darker. The show deconstructs the superhero genre by introducing real-world consequences, similar to The Boys, which is also on Amazon Prime. There's moral ambiguity, real-world consequences, and intense violence that Renault alluded to, revealing that power often comes with terrifying responsibility. So there are themes of violence versus morality, coming of age, legacy, and identity. Why does it stand out? Well, it's brutal, graphic. There are deep character arcs, and is voiced by Stephen Yeun, who was also in The Walking Dead. He played
Glenn?
Glenn.
Glenn. Thank you. He played Glenn.
Mhm.
J.K. Simmons voices Omni-Man. He's
Oh, he does? That's J.K.
yeah,
Simmons?
that's J. Yeah, he plays J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man movies. And Sandra Oh, she voices Debbie Grayson, Mark's mom. She was in Killing Eve. I don't know if you've seen that show. Oh, she was also in Grey's Anatomy. So
Yeah,
Sandra,
the Asian
the
lady.
Asian.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So
Killing Eve is actually a good, especially the first season. That's actually
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. It is. So that's a overall overview of Invincible. Now let me do the same for Blue-Eyed Samurai. So Blue-Eyed Samurai, also animated series. It's on Netflix. Same genre, adult animated action drama. It was created by Amber Nozumi and Michael Green. And the premise is that it is set in 17th century Edo period Japan. Okay. Blue-Eyed Samurai follows Mizu, a skilled mixed race swordsman born with blue eyes. And this, of course, makes her an outcast in a society obsessed with purity. All right. And so she's driven by revenge. Mizo is on a mission to hunt down the white men who entered Japan during his period of isolation, one of whom is believed to be Mizo's father. But this is more than a revenge tale. The show explores identity, rage, gender, and belonging, wrapped in bloody sword fights and deep psychological tension. So it has themes of revenge and justice, gender and identity, isolation and otherness. And yeah, overall, it's it lends itself to historical facts and kind of like takes some artistic creativity with those facts. But yeah, that is Blue-Eyed Samurai. Not as much background as there is with Invincible, seeing how it's this long, sprawling comic, but there's still a lot of meat on the bone, so to speak. So I just wanted to lay the background for both of those. Jermaine, if you wouldn't mind, go for it.
Yes. Yes, sir. Um, both shows are really good. I'll speak of Invincible first. Good storyline, a lot of characters. Omni Man. You have the son. What Mark? Right? Is it Mark? Mark
Yes.
Grayson.
Yeah,
You
Mark.
have his mother. You have the head of the organization that Omni Man works for.
Oh,
You have
Felix, right? Is that his name?
No, like I'll find
is
out.
Felix his underling or is
The dude with the scarred face. I thought that's who we were talking about.
it might be? It-
Okay.
I don't know if that's his name, but you know who I'm speaking of.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think with Invincible, there's a lot of characters. So it gives the watcher a chance to fall in love with a specific character, even if it's not Mark or Omni-Man or even the wife or even the head of the organization. They can fall in love. I'm sorry?
Cecil.
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 That's it.
Cecil.
Thank you, Felix. Cecil.
You're close.
Yeah. Okay.
But they can fall in love with any character they like. I think it's a good series. I know it's pretty much from a comic series, which just like Game of Thrones from a book. So it's tough to deviate too far from a novel or a comic book. And you try to stay on purpose to actually not indulge the fans, but give the fans what they want. You don't want to step too far away from the, what do they call it? The intellectual property of the person who actually created it. So you want to try to stay in that realm. But violence, a lot of violence. Like, I'm not going to lie. When I first saw it, I was like, yeah, this is probably the most violent cartoon I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, and I can see why people are drawn to it.
Yeah.
Because of the violence?
Well, because of violence, storyline, the father and son dynamic, the mother not knowing who the father is until later. It's so many things that I think viewers can attach to, where if you take 100 viewers for Invincible, 5 may like Mark, 5 may like Omni-Man, 3 may like the wife, 2 may like the little brother in the third season, 4 may like Eve, and then you have the ones that like the other people in the show. So I think that's what's good about the show. They give the viewers a lot of options to actually latch on to a specific character to actually view the show in its overall format. Overall for Invincible, and keep this in mind, folks, anybody watching this, I haven't read the comic book. Usually books and comic books are better than when they actually translate them into TV format. Usually that's how it goes. So I haven't read the comic books. Just like The Boys, a lot of people say, bro, The Boys are way better. Walking Dead comic book is way better. Like, everyone says this. But as far as Invincible, I think it's a pretty good show. Now, Blue-Eyed Samurai, because it was screenwritten originally, I found that compelling. Like, wow, this is amazing. I like Blue-Eyed Samurai more than Invincible.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not.
Wow.
And I'm gonna say this, and I'm not trying to be sexist. Usually, I look at female protagonists in action live shows. Like, bro, they're just doing this to push out an agenda. But with this show, this animation, I was like, everything makes sense to why she is how she is, bro. And when I say it makes sense, from her being born to an interracial couple, Japan not allowing mixed breeds or other ethnicities in their country. Keep in mind, we're speaking of the 17th century, but guess what? Japan still does not allow other ethnicities in their country. They have one of the strictest. Yes, Japan. If you go to Japan or China, it's not like America, bro. Pull it up. Millions of people aren't coming in. Like, it's kind of like Dubai or the UAE. You can't even become a citizen unless you live there for like 15 years just to become a citizen. They have one of the lowest immigration rates. They believe in pure blood. That's what I liked about this series. I was like, you know what?
So
they're exactly how they are now.
let me stop you right there and read.
Go ahead.
So in 2025, Japan allows for some diversity in its population, but with specific limitations. While Japan is not considered a country of immigration and has a relatively homogeneous population, it does have a significant minority population including ethnic Koreans and a growing foreign worker population. However, Japan lacks comprehensive anti-discrimination laws and faces challenges with integrating immigrants into society.
I can see that. That
Okay.
doesn't surprise me at all.
So no, I appreciate that, Renell.
Mhm.
What you said is what the fuck I said. You just read it online. What you said is,
No, calm down. I'm giving you support to what you're saying.
so read it one more
Yes.
time so the people hear it, please.
Jeez, whippersnapper. Hold on. All right. So in 2025, Japan allows for some diversity in its population, but with specific limitations. While Japan is not considered a country of immigration and has relatively homogeneous population, it does have a significant minority population, including ethnic Koreans and a growing foreign worker population. However, Japan lacks comprehensive anti-discrimination laws and faces challenges with integrating immigrants into society.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was writing it down. So, some diversity. Now, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if that's peer research that you're looking at or viewing, but I'm pretty sure we can get more accurate numbers.
That's my friend Gemini.
Okay. Some diversity, understandable. Every place allows some diversity. I think we know that. I think when you go to Jamaica and you see Asian people speaking patois, you know, like, okay, there's Asian people, there's white people. I think when you go to Africa, you see Asian, white, black, they're still all Africans. But some diversity. I think the big thing here is not a country of immigration. They don't allow immigrants in either, even till today. And we're speaking of 2025. Homogenous, indigenous. They want the people, they want their blood to be pure. Now, you can go on social media and go on YouTube and you can find a white Japanese person. You can find a Afro-Japanese person. But you're putting that one Afro-Japanese person against 250,000 purebloods. There's a difference. Over here, you might take the population white, and I'm just saying this as a designation of color: white, black, yellow. Yellow meaning Asian, Spanish. I'll put them in the same category for this specific topic.
Hell,
But
Did you know you were yellow, Renell? Did you know that?
what? Okay.
for this specific topic, it doesn't mean that.
I'm just.
Would you rather me say Latino? Well, I'm making designations, so I'm
Yes,
using
Latino.
colors.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But go ahead. I'm just teasing you, man. Go.
No, you're good. But just to get back to the main topic, Blue-Eyed Samurai, I think they took cultural differences of how Japan looked at outsiders back then, and they were looking at the European person. So we're not even speaking of how they would have looked at a African or a black person. We're just going with the European, the blue eye. They looked at them as the devil. That's what they were raised on. That's what they believed. A monster, a creature.
Yeah.
I think that was unique in itself. And then for the person to be female was also unique. And then not only that, what she had to do to master her craft. So in episode 1, I believe, I don't know if it was episode 1. It might have been when she fought the little boy that used to throw rocks at her. When he cut her or cut her hair off or like made a little slice in her shirt and she got serious and she took the weights off both wrists and her ankles.
Mhm.
So people don't know this. I used to wear ankle weights in high school. And when she did, I was like, oh shit. And then she became so much faster in her art, in her craft, increased tenfold. I was like, this is literally how it would be. If you have wrist weights on and you're fighting with a samurai sword and you're going against a great opponent and they're matching you, what happens when you take that off? And we didn't even know she was female at that point.
Yep.
And she took it off and I was like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
she's on
It's
another
about to get
level.
real.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Blue-Eyed Samurai, I love it. I like that the difference that I see between both animes, Blue-Eyed Samurai to me was more character centric with fewer characters. Invincible was character centric, but it gave you the option to specifically put yourself with one specific character out of 10 to 12.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. And I agree with you 100%. Blue-Eyed Samurai, you actually see the arc of the characters, right, as you go through the season, as opposed to Invincible is it's like a series of ADHD. Because it's like you're just constantly like these characters are showing up and they show up in episode 2, and then they show up in episode 10, and then they show up in season 3, and then they show up in season 4. It's all over the place, right?
I
And it's a
respectfully
multitude.
disagree.
Why?
So I think Mark is on a arc. He's
But he's the protagonist. I'm talking about. So, like, if you look at, for instance, what's that guy's the little helper that she had, Rigu, the Blue-Eyed Samurai, Mizu's helper. She gets
Yeah, the
the
dude with
cook.
no hands.
with no hands.
Yeah. You see his growth even through the season, right? And I guess that's my point is you get to become a little more familiar with the characters. You see their growth, their arcs. I will agree, yes, Marks, because he is the protagonist. You do see his growth, but it's hard to see all the because there are so many characters in
So
Invincible.
so I'll give you an example. Rexplode, right? He's kind of a douchebag in
Oh
the
yeah,
beginning.
Fucking everything.
Right. But towards the end, and I'm not going to give it away, but he has like his
a
hero.
redeeming moment. Yeah,
Exactly. And
His
yeah.
redemption arc.
but it didn't come out of nowhere. You saw it
He
develop over time.
was, yeah, he was getting better. Yeah,
So
He had
that's
to go
one
through Eve. He had to go through the chick that multiply, and then he
right.
got with the other
He
chick.
had to run through all these chicks, right?
Yeah.
Another one, Robot. He's on his way because he came, because he was this deformed little baby thing, and then he, stole DNA from Rexplode, became the
right.
carbon, but now he's finding his humanity again. So I think they're taking their time with certain characters to flesh them out. But I think you're right. Like the two Mauler twins, they're just there to beat people up. They don't
Yeah,
really have a backstory.
yeah.
Um, the one insect woman who just served as a surrogate for Mark's brother. Those people came and went real quick. I guess because they don't live that long, but that's neither here nor there.
Now they
But-
did have a spin-off for Adam Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so then you could actually see her. Okay, that's her backstory. That's how she got to.
I think they needed that because, like you said, they're these are they 30-minute episodes? I think they're 30 to 45 minutes.
45
something like
minutes.
that.
Mhm.
So they don't even have enough time, really, to go into that because, like Jermaine said, you're confined to the IP, and so we saw with Game of Thrones how that can be good and bad. As long as the showrunners stuck with the books that George R. R. Martin wrote, they created amazing content for HBO. When they went off that beaten path and decided to create something, it became a steaming pile of horse shit. So, it could go either way.
Yeah.
But with Blue-Eyed Samurai, this is all new. And
Yeah.
so they were able to just run with it. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you what I think because I've been holding back. All right, so here's the thing. I think Blue-Eyed Samurai is phenomenal. I really do. I think it's exquisite storytelling. I think the animation is great. I think, like Jermaine said, having a female protagonist in this regard made sense. It wasn't woke. It wasn't shoehorned in to make some sort of point. It felt organic and true to the story. And so I think it was just well thought out, well paced. The action scenes are great. And in contrast, Invincible, it's based on a comic. And a comic, it's meant to shock and awe a little bit. I think it has a different audience, if you will.
Hmm.
And this is adapted to television. And so, like anything adapted to television, you have to make some creative sacrifices or whatnot. So, Blue Eye Samurai didn't have that issue. It was made for TV from the get go, but Invincible had to be adapted. And so, with that adaptation, you're going to still have remnants of comic bookiness. And I think that's where you're getting that. Oh man, it seems over the top. Like Battle Beast. Like, why would
Yeah.
you have a character like Battle Beast? That dude, first off, he's raw as fuck. But golly, he's overpowered. He's so
Yeah.
overpowered. He had to like go away
Yeah.
because he would have just wrecked everybody, right? So
Yes.
but I think characters like him and the Mauler twins are just there, or like the one-eyed dude, like they're just there to like beat people up. So I will say yes, Blue-Eyed Samurai is the superior show, but I think Invincible scratches an itch for just wanting to see some like cool shit, you know.
And I get
it-
to bond with my kid, so that's good.
yeah, like you go to space, and you get to do some sci-fi stuff.
Mhm.
Blue Eye Samurai is genre, or it's set in a particular time, so there's that. And I wanted to point out something else. So Blue Eye Samurai is based on some historical facts. We've alluded to this several times. I'm going to get into exactly what that is in a second or later in the show. But there's another series on Netflix that does lend itself from a true historical figure, a black person who existed in Japan, who was a samurai.
Oh, I
And
think I
his
know
name
that.
was Yasuki. I saw that, and here he is here. I saw that on Netflix, and it's amazing.
And it's the animation.
It's animated, yep.
Okay.
And I'm scrolling through here. So that's a teaser trailer. I probably could play it for you guys.
Is that the
But
first black samurai?
first and only. It's you can look it up. I mean, he was sold into slavery in Japan. This actually precedes the time frame of Blue-Eyed Samurai by about 100 years. So they would have known about this person Yasuki, but he is voiced by that guy who was in Nope. Um,
Oh,
Oh, the
Lakeith,
dude with the big eyes.
Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield is who voices him. And it's amazing. It's a great show, but it's a one and done. There aren't going to be any more seasons. This came out a while ago. But yes, so there was a black man in feudal Japan who was a samurai. This is based on a real person. But they take some creative license. There's like magic and crazy super machines in it. They do some weird shit, but weird shit in a good way. So I would highly recommend that. We could definitely talk about that if you guys want to at a later point. But Jermaine, you said something that made me think of it, so that's why I brought it up. But yeah, I too would have to say Blue Eyed Samurai is probably the better of the two shows. So now, do you want to unpack? We have a kind of like a cheat sheet to.
Yeah.
So who wants to take a crack at
I'll
some
go
of these
first
facts?
because I want to give props where it's due. So you okay with that right now?
Yeah.
So this is Jamal sent us this maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours before the show. We're gonna start with. Should I go through all of them and just give a brief 10-second, or go through each one and let everybody go through each one?
I like that second option. Let's do that.
Okay. So character psychology, and this is what. So these are the key points Jamal put. Who is the most complex character in each series and why? So I'm gonna say obviously in Blue Eye Samurai it is Mitsuku. In Invincible, I'm not gonna say Mark. I'm gonna say Omni Man.
Yeah. Complex?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now, why? Obviously, Mitsuku is She had to grow up a certain way. She was always called a creature, a monster. She was mistreated. Her mom did whatever she did, left her. Turned out it was the maid later on. She had to literally become a man in order to survive in this world, like her mom stressed upon her. So that's why for Mitsuko, for Omni Man, brother, he's been alive for thousands and thousands of years. Like, who can actually be more interesting than him, coming from an entire culture and planet where it's like the 300, where they kill the kids who aren't up to par. That's pretty. What he was a Vetramite? What's the name of it?
Viltrumite.
Vetramite. Like
Viltrumite.
Vil.
Viltrumite.
Viltrumite.
There you
But
go.
that's how it was for him. So he's the most interesting. And keep in mind, he's been on other planets before, and his other compadres have been on other planets before. But now he comes here. He literally called his wife a dog. You know?
Yeah, he did. Hard to come back from that. And she heard him say that, right? Or she found out? Yeah.
But you can imagine how he used to drill her ass because he's that dude. Like,
yeah. Well, he drilled an alien too, which is they got to unpack that. Like, how does that work? Does she have a vagina? Like, she looked like a praying mantis. She looked like a praying mantis. How's that work? They lay eggs. How's that work?
But you can imagine his super. That's like if Superman has
super
sex
semen
with a regular chick.
Yeah, he probably just like bust his nut on like a
He's
pile of eggs.
Let me tell you what he did.
What
He took one finger, put it on her clitoris, and went like this, and she nutted. That's literally what happened, bro. He was like this, and she just best I ever had. But
oh man,
yeah. So okay, I don't want to get too far. So the next one is so you guys go. So that was the first key point from character psychology.
So so I'll say for most complex character, I think it's going to be, what was that print for Blue-Eyed Samurai?
Oh, you're taking my Akime.
Princess Akemi.
That's who I was going to say.
Yeah. So maybe we have different reasons, but for me, it was because of she had to do some shady shit. To make her way through that storyline, right?
Yep.
And in the end, she was eating crow because Daddy was in on the betrayal, right? I think it was at the end. Daddy betrayed her and the kingdom. So
Right good point. That's why you know what? I wasn't even thinking when you present this to me and I pick Mitsuko and then you say this and I look back over the series and I'm like, Raynell has a fucking point, bro.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
That was my
because I think you're right, but she's
the obvious.
She is so effing focused. I don't think she's complex. I know what she's doing, right? Whereas Akemi's like left, right. You know, am I going to be on the MAGA side or am I going to be leaning on the left side, right? She's playing both sides. She's trying to connive and just kind of like, you know, set up a scenario that benefits her. Whereas Mizzou is like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker and that's it. You know, that's my purpose in life. That's it.
Well, to be fair to Mizu, you know, over the course of the show, you do learn her motivation as to why. Like, you see how effed up her childhood is, how she's picked on, how her mom was an opium addict, how she was married, and for a short time, she was like, okay.
She was happy for a quick minute.
She was happy for like a fleeting, who knows how long that lasted. And, you know, they have a sex scene, and that's probably the first time she ever had sex. And, you know, she's thinking back to this at a time where she's probably going to die because like 100 dudes are like in the brothel trying to kill her. That's when she's thinking of. So she has layers, but you're right. It's unpacked for us. And there's not a lot that we have to do to really like search and figure it out.
It's there. It's in our face. Whereas Akemi, you have to watch her through the show to figure her out. And you still don't know until the very end.
And not only that, but you have to ask yourself, if you were in her position, could you do something different? And it's probably not. I mean, you probably have to do what she's doing.
No, Jamal, great point. Because remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, but what's the guy's name who Mitsuko grew up with, who he battled?
Oh,
Tengen.
Tengen.
But remember, Tengen wanted to go find Mitsuko she slept with Tanyan for the first time, broke her virginity.
Mm-hmm.
So he wouldn't leave, but then he still left. And if you remember that scene, she was like, hang on, you're still leaving? And then she got married to the Shogun's son, and the brothel owner said, what did she say exactly? Like, figure out what the fuck you want to do. It was something with the
Right.
F word in it.
Yeah.
And she slept with the son, even though she was in love with Tangan, because the brothel owner was like, control him, you control your own fate. Then he
Right.
took her sexuality and used
Used
it.
it as a right.
He had a stutter, like, recite some poems
Yeah.
and do some other shit, but eat this
17th
pussy.
century simp. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
But right now, go ahead. I'm sorry, bro. I just
No,
had to throw that in there. But
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm gonna have to change my answer right now. Compelling argument, by the way.
So
Very.
Jamal, go ahead. I'm sorry. I stole some of your thunder there.
No, that's cool. Yeah. So Princess Akemi was my choice. Like you said, she had kind of like the more subdued espionage type of character arc story. She started off just as a one-note character. She's the pretty girl who just wants the handsome guy and to live happily ever after. But like life does, it throws dirt in your face and you're like, what? So she was sold to a brothel, and her man runs away because he had his top knot cut off, and he goes nuts, and all this shit, and so where she ends up at the end of the season is completely just so completely different from where you would have assumed she would end up by beginning of the show, which is what makes her complex in and unto itself, because we kind of know Mizu is either going to win or lose because she's a samurai, she's the badass. But Akemi, you really thought you knew her number, but you don't. There's a lot more to unpack there, and she's just getting started. Because now
that's the bad thing.
That's the thing, because she's got simp dude who's now, I guess, because his dad's dead.
His brother is going to be the Shogun.
Oh, okay.
But hey, good point, Jamal.
Yeah.
Remember, she's in dude's head.
Right.
She's going to take the stutter brother.
Right. Stutter brother.
Maybe you're better than your brother. You should be this. You can see
you
it coming.
Pulling string. Exactly. So I would say she's definitely the most complex, has the potential to be even more complex in season 2. So that would be my choice. Great combo, guys. All right, what's next?
Let's jump to violence with a purpose, because we only have a few mics left.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
we haven't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, go for it.
Let's just take the most intriguing question from each area.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead. Whichever question you want right now.
Oh, yeah. I need my glasses.
Violence with a purpose.
Yeah, compared to anime or other mature animation, does it feel? I don't know. Yeah,
I like the first one. Does the graphic violence serve the story, or is it just shock value?
Okay,
I'll go first.
Yeah,
I think Invincible is more shock, and I'll keep it short. Okay. I think Invincible is more shock value than Blue-Eyed Samurai. I think Blue-Eyed Samurai, literally every scene serves the purpose of the show. Go ahead.
Well said. I have nothing else to add to that. Perfect.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean,
there's nothing else to add to that.
Well,
it is
because Invincible is a comic, that's because what's his name? Alan, the alien gets his eye popped out, his one single eye popped. You knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
I like Alan.
Yeah, Alan's cool. He's voiced by your boy, who was in Knocked Up. Who's a producer of the show?
Oh, Chris.
No, it's curly haired dude who he dated Charlize Theron in the movie. What's his name? He was in Knocked Up.
Charlize Theron's so bad, bro. I'll sleep with her.
Yeah, we know, Jermaine. His name's gonna come to me later, but anyway,
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen. That's who produces this show. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna go next. Cultural commentary. So, race, gender, revenge. There's a lot of cultural commentary to speak on. I don't know that the race or the father-son dynamic or authoritarianism or even American idealism is really that profound in Invincible. It's there, and if you look for it, you can find it. but you really have to look for it. I think Blue-Eyed
Yeah,
Samurai has a lot more to say about race, especially with her being um well,
interracial.
we would say mixed race, but I think they say half breed, which is like taking mixed race and making it into a slur, you
Yeah,
know. And then her wearing those shades all the time to hide the color of her eyes. That in itself speaks to that. And then revenge, how an eye for an eye, and this whole thing. It's really detrimental to her and those around her. And I said I was going to get to this, but there actually was a fire in
Mhm.
Kyoto back in the 17th century, and it killed
Kyoto,
over
Japan.
yeah, it actually killed over 100,000 people, and no one knows how it started. They believe it was started by a monk who he was doing some ritual, but back then everything was made of paper and wood, so
Yeah,
a few embers, you're done.
gone.
So
Mhm.
literally 100,000 people died, and so she throws a lantern to prevent the one dude from escaping, and this was all in an act so that she can seek her revenge to
Yeah,
kill. And in doing so, it led to the deaths of over 100,000 people.
yeah. She was a
And so
beast.
that I think is what I pull from it, where okay, you're so focused on getting your revenge and killing these people, you're not concerning yourself with the wake of destruction that you're leaving behind you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So, and I think we all get caught up in, what we want, like whether it's road rage or what'd you say to me, or whatever it is. So I think Blue Eye Samurai does a better job of there being cultural commentary and having something to say. So
I agree with that. Right now, you can go. Oh, look, I'm not even going to disagree. I will say this: um, the cultural commentary. It's. I'm not going to say it's visually more prevalent in Blue Eyed Samurai, but the entire tone of the series, it's always in its forefront, even though it's not announcing it. That's what makes it huge because it's literally always there. Why are you always have your glasses on? You take your glasses off, you're a creature, you're the devil. Like it's
Mhm.
always there. The world embraced Omni Man. That's like obviously there's a cultural difference, but we embraced him. They're
Mhm.
not embracing this chick, bro.
Oh yeah, good point. They
Go
yeah,
ahead,
and
Renee.
what's funny, and they embrace him, and look what he ended up doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Something to say there. Renell, you playing PS3? What are you doing?
No, I'm trying to read the questions.
Oh, we were on cultural
Well,
commentary.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
I hope you out with one. Here's a good one. So, could these stories be told the same way if they were live action? Go.
Uh, I don't think so.
Would you want to like? Because they do that. They'll make
Yeah,
something that was animated live action, like as a movie or something. Would
I
you
don't.
want either of these to be live action?
No, I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Both of them. Yeah, I don't know that. No, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? I don't
Well,
really.
Jermaine, what do you think?
I think it would be a good live action. I just don't think it would be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, no man or woman are going to go against 1,000 claws and kill them. Like
Right.
it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman.
Right.
Now, would it be cool like a Kill Bill when she went against the 88?
Yeah.
It would be.
But but
But
the
It
did
would.
that
work.
look good though? I didn't like that.
No, it didn't.
It
I'm
didn't.
not a big Tarantino fan,
But
anyways.
what I'm no, I understand what you guys are saying. But what I'm saying is, I think the Blue Eye Samurai would be more of a live action than Invincible, just because the Blue Eye Samurai is here now. There's people of mixed race in Japan. There's people of mixed race who feel they have to do more to get the same privileges or outcome that indigenous people of Japan receives. So that's there. I'm not speaking of the strength or the fighting. I'm
Yeah,
just like, hey, I'm a blue-eyed Japanese girl. I speak Japanese. I was raised here, but I was always the outcast. So I have to go above and beyond to make my place in this world. So I think that's possible for a live action series. I just don't think that same blue-eyed girl is gonna kill like 1,000 mafia dudes, bro. And I
Right.
don't think a dude would do it. John Wick ain't gonna fucking do it, regardless of how much people like John Wick. Bro, you're not shooting people point blank every fucking time you raise your gun. Stop.
But I'll say
Oh,
this: it looks believable when you see it, though.
yeah, but by the
Yeah.
way, Jermaine, that's a good segue. And we'll just jump on this for a second.
To
We'll come right back.
Keanu?
Yes, Ballerina. Did you
Keanu.
see that? It's coming out.
I saw the trailer.
With
I guess it's
Anna
a
de Armas.
spinoff. Yeah, it's a spinoff from the Wick series or
The Wick.
whatnot. Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Mm.
So the first time I saw her, I was like, she was hot. But the more I've seen her, I've been like,
She's just
she's really, yeah, she's just a regular chick.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
is there.
Yeah,
She's got a look. She has a true Spaniard accent.
She's a Shannon Sharp. What's that girl's name?
Oh, she's looks way better than her. Oh, don't say that. That's an
Yeah, she
insult.
definitely does.
That's an
But
insult. Damn.
yeah, but that chick in Ballerina is like, is she from Colombia or Spain? Does she say nosotros or vosotros? You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those. Like,
Damn, you know some Spanish, bro. You understand dialects.
She was in one of my all-time favorite movies, Blade Runner 2049, Anna de Armas. She was Ryan Gosling's AI girlfriend. Did you guys see Blade Runner 2049?
yeah, I saw it once. I can't really
No.
remember it though.
I love that movie.
You know what I do like from Ryan Gosling? What that she was in also Gray Man. I think she was in.
Oh, she was in that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Gray Man is kind of, and it's just an action shit that you could just, an hour 50
Yeah.
minutes, so don't have to think about shit.
Mhm. Yeah,
But-
it's Russo brothers, but they did the one with Chris Hemsworth, Extraction,
It's-
1
yeah.
and 2. Yeah, those are good.
So we just got a message that says Instagram has disconnected the stream.
Oh man, did it?
They currently disconnect streams after 1 hour for most users. If you want to continue streaming on Instagram, you can remove this destination from the stream and re-add it.
Well, our stream is still going on Jamal is Good.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So I want to tackle this question about could it go live action? I think so. For me, this is why I'm not a fan of the old guard.
Yeah.
That has Charlize Theron doing action, and nothing against her as an actress. I think she's phenomenal. It's just I don't buy it. Like it doesn't look compelling. So I think physics limits, even with CGI. I think it just limits the plausibility of me buying in and immersing myself into the story. I like practical effects. I like things that are somewhat real. I say that, and I'm a big Marvel fan back when they were good. But I hear how I sound, but I've just never bought into that. And you're right, when she's fighting the 100 guys, or not even that. At either the last or second last episode where she's saving the dude, like she makes it to the castle, right? But she's blown out of a window.
Yeah,
and then she puts the sword in the side, and then she pulls him up.
Her whole body weight. Yeah.
Right. On her back. And
Yeah.
then she's climbing up. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, no.
So
That's
she
not
did the
happening.
same thing Chris Hemsworth did in Extraction 2.
right.
And he's 240 pounds
Yeah.
sheer muscle with
Yeah.
a chick.
I'm like,
And he pulled her up, but she pulled a dude up. Yeah.
so, okay. So now I'm going to say this, and this isn't in the story, but this is how I get past it to buy all this physical nonsense, is that the meteor that she formed the sword from must have some sort of mystical energy. Because I don't know how else you can explain how she's getting stabbed in every shoulder and every kidney, and she's still around walking. And yeah, it could only be animation.
She's
It could
a
only.
badass.
She's a Terminator, or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But she should have died like 5-6 times.
Yeah.
But anyway, could it be? No. And honestly, I prefer it be animated because you can just do whatever, and physics be damned. Live action change you. It limits what you can do.
Yeah.
Because
So I think if you're gonna pick one, you could probably make Blue-Eyed Samurai happen. Whereas,
Well, yeah, just because we don't know
Yeah.
about aliens and flying
Yeah.
around with super strength.
no, you could do that too. Every Marvel, Yeah, there's CGI. You could do either one.
No,
But I'm
but what
But,
like what
but
I
you
mean
couldn't
is
tell the story though.
what
Well,
I'm
yeah.
yeah, what I
okay.
mean is just thinking about it on the outside looking in. Will I believe this? I'll believe a half European, half Japanese chick with blue eyes that boosted herself up to a level where she can compete in a certain way. Will I believe a dude that came from a different planet, different galaxy, different universe, had a son here, married a chick, and he actually came here, and more of them are coming over to take over the planet after they've taken over 1,000 others? I'm gonna take the Blue Eye Samurai.
Mm.
Well, I
Well, I will
think
say this about Invincible though. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in Invincible, and that's amazing.
yeah.
So that what was that character that he took on at the end there, season 3?
Um,
Let me look
shoot,
it up.
I
I
can't
can't
remember.
remember.
But anyway, last thing about animation. I think animation's catching on because people are getting over the fact that, oh, that's for kids or this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But you know, I think as long as you tell compelling stories and you have good characters, animation or not, you're going to be drawn to it. And so I highly recommend Yusuke. I'm not going to say how I compare it to Blue Eye Samurai. I'd like you guys to, check out the first episode. If you like it and you keep watching, great. Um, I'm gonna hold my opinion of how it compares to Blue Eye until you guys watch it. But
You said
um,
that's on Netflix, right?
oh yeah, it's on
Okay.
Netflix. Yeah, so it's called Yasuki. It's based on the real life Black Samurai. And
So
they take creative license. They put a lot of extra shit in there. I think they did that to make it more
But
interesting.
this is actually a true story, correct?
Well, yes and no. It's based on an actual person.
Okay.
yeah,
It's based on, so they actually did sell some slaves, I guess, in feudal Japan.
Oh yeah.
Mainly as like it wasn't like it wasn't chattel slavery. It was more like indentured servitude. Like they would just be like, you know, the hand, like to help around with carrying shit, stuff like that. You weren't in fields or nothing like that.
A nanny, take care of
Yeah,
the house.
yeah. And this was a big dude. Like he's like the Rock size. Like he's like a big guy. And they go into all that. They go into the backstory of where he came from and why he's there and all that. But yeah, I think animation is more popular now because it's being taken seriously as an art form. Because you don't just have Invincible, Blue Eye Samurai, you have Castlevania, you have Yusuke, lots of anime. Matter of fact, there's a whole channel, not channel, but a whole section of Netflix dedicated to anime. There's a lot more
Yeah.
that delve into a lot of adult themes, and I think it's done in a way where it could only be animated, because if it were live action, it would look hokey.
Yeah.
And they've actually tried converting from anime to live action. Does not hold up. One great example is Cowboy Bebop. I love Cowboy Bebop. I was a big fan of that, the anime. They had the live action version. Netflix put a ton of money into it. Looked like trash.
And what's
Horrible.
the other one with Scarlett Johansson?
Oh my
Metal
god. No, it was Ghost in the Shell,
Ghost in the Shell, yeah.
which is a phenomenal film. I think it's a series as well, but I saw the animated film or the anime. It's,
Phenomenal.
well, yeah, but it's old. It's like
It's like 1989 or something.
yeah, that's like Akira Ninja Scroll old.
Oh yeah, that's one of the originals.
Yeah,
The
that's
originators.
old. But
Like heavy metal.
they race bended her,
Yeah.
which
Fuck.
should
I
not have
can't
done.
stand when they do shit like that, bro.
They didn't need to make like, and they created a crazy story to justify it being Scarlett Johansson. I forget what it was. It made no damn sense.
I
But
can't stand that, bro. Like, look, man.
or
Let me tell you what I would.
like Kings of Egypt did the same shit with that. Remember
Yeah,
that?
like who was it in there? You have the dude from Jesus Christ. Gladiator. What's the dude name?
Oh, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe's in Kings of Egypt, right? Or whatever.
No, Kings of Egypt was
It wasn't
yeah.
the two white guys who had like powers.
No, that was from 300. What's
No,
his
no, no,
name?
no, not 300. I'm talking about the dudes.
Yeah.
They had white actors, but like
Yes.
they
Kings of
would
Egypt.
form like a horse or something.
Yes. You are talking about the movie. Yes.
That's not 300.
The guy was from 300. He was in 300. What's his name? Gerard Butler and Nikolaj Kostner. As a matter of fact, it's Jamie from Game of Thrones, and Gerard Butler was the
Yes, you are correct. Yes, you are correct. You are correct. So I don't like the wokeism. Like, I know a lot of people want to say, hey, let's make a black Superman and do all this other shit, or, let's make Wonder Woman this, or let's make, what's the latest one that a lot of people had a lot of things? The Little Mermaid black. Like, bruh, just make her how you originally made her. Like, won't somebody else come up with a new concept where they make somebody black or Spanish, bro?
I'm
Like,
so glad
like
you brought this up, Jermaine.
easy
I feel
fucking
very
way to
passionate
solve it.
about this. Oh, well, yeah, I know. It's called original IP. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
Because-
bro.
Yeah, because you're right. The reason why what's her name? The Ariel, the mermaid, didn't do well is because she was black. People don't want to admit that, but that is why. And had they just I thought this, and I said this to my son, I'm like, they could have focused on a sister of hers, right, who's black, and that could have been who that actress was. And there could have been a whole backstory going on while the original mermaid story was happening.
Instantly original.
There it is. But making Michael
Wait.
B. Jordan,
What was so you would have suggested that they made her sister?
yeah, she had all these sisters that were like,
Oh yeah. Okay,
yeah, she had all these
Yeah,
different
we
sisters
never saw.
that we
Mhm.
never saw. So it could have been she had a black sister for whatever reason. They could have made that up. And that could have been happening. And while she has her story, you see like the different stuff from the original happening in the background so that you know it's happening at the same. They could have done something like that. Would have been, but it's separate. You're not robbing people of their childhood or
Yeah.
telling them they should like this new version when in fact they probably don't. There was a rumor that Michael B. Jordan was going to be the next Superman. Everyone hated it.
Bro. No, I wouldn't watch that shit, bro.
No, I mean I love Michael B. Jordan, but that would be a miscast.
It's funny. I don't like him as an actor. I think
Really?
there's a lot of other actors that should be at his level that are not.
Really?
Oh yeah, especially the black guy. You ever saw This Is Us, the series?
Oh yeah.
You know the black guy who plays one of the
Sterling
brothers.
K. Brown. Yeah, I know him. He was in,
Excellent
Black
actor,
Panther.
bro. He should
Well-
be, as far as acting, he's a better actor than Michael B. Jordan.
He's
you know
alright.
who's really impressive to me if we're talking black actors right now is Idris Elba.
Well, yeah, that's
That guy is off the charts.
You know what?
that's my all-time favorite actor.
Really?
But
Oh.
Sterling K. Brown is great, and he's actually in a series on Hulu called Paradise.
Yo, that's a great series, bro.
That show is fucking fire. It's
Really?
great.
We
If
might
you
need to
haven't
do
seen-
that the next episode.
Yo,
Paradise.
it's really good. Yeah, I heard about.
Oh, this dude? Okay.
Sterling K.
No.
Brown. Yeah, he was in This Is Us and Black Panther.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you how I saw Paradise. I saw an interview with him on YouTube, and everybody was talking about the end of the first episode. And I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck show is this? And I
Mhm.
saw it, and the end of the first episode came up, and I was like, what the fuck is
Yo.
going on, bro?
Yep.
Let me tell you another
Yeah.
show a lot of people, and this is a horror show. It's called shit. I just had it.
A horror show.
My sister put me onto it.
What do you know? What streaming service is on?
Damn, I want to say Hulu. What time is it? She probably sleep.
Well, I think that does it for Invincible and Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Yeah.
Definitely go check both of
Here
them
we
out.
go.
They're both great. But I think we lean more towards
From.
Blue-Eyed- Oh yeah, From is the shit. Yeah, that's
From,
great.
especially the first season. From.
Yeah, From is great. Yeah,
It's getting excited.
yeah
No,
no,
bro.
From is great. No, I've
There's
seen all of it.
there's some good shows
Oh,
that's
no, I've
come
never
out
seen
within the
From.
past 5 years.
Yeah,
I've never
From
seen
is good.
From.
It's got the dude from. He was in Best Man. The
Now,
Yeah.
main guy.
wasn't he in Lost?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. Yeah,
That's him? Okay.
yeah,
He looks
yeah.
different.
he's a
Yeah.
good actor. Yeah, well, he's
Yeah,
getting
he is
old.
good. Mhm.
But yeah,
I
no,
just like
From
the premise around it.
is
Town,
amazing. Yeah,
Can't get out.
Yeah, that's an amazing show. Can't say enough things. Now I hate that it's on MGM. I actually paid money to just so I
have
could
that.
watch season 3 of From. Yeah.
1, 2, 3 movies from my phone to the TV
You got to put me on that.
for free.
You got to put me on that. Can we talk about that on the stream?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to pull it up
Please
right now.
don't.
Well, we already are.
Too
I'm
late.
about to pull it up right now.
I'm hungry. Oh, I should have eaten.
We going to the after party?
Yeah, I think that is a good idea. Let's do after
So this
party.
is how it looks.
Oh, did you have to do that?
Jermaine, take that down. All right. Where's my outro? How to get us demonetized
Dang,
before
man.
we make money.
Can we put him in his cage real quick,
All
please?
right. So, fellas, where can people find you on socials? Jermaine, go first.
November Montgomery, all platforms. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We love you. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
All right. Renell, where can people find you?
Raynell Saw_JR at Instagram.
All right. And you can find me at Jamal is Good on Blue Sky and Instagram. And that's a wrap for tonight's episode, the RJ Square podcast, where the combo never stops. If you vibe with us, please do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, drop a comment. And we're here live every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m., or at least we were. We are changing our schedule effective next episode. Stay tuned for that. But we will still be on YouTube and on Instagram. And until next time, please, people, keep it grown, keep it honest. And as always, join the conversation. Peace.
Salud. Marcia said was